Okay, thank you all for taking time to attend this half an hour presentation. I will try to wrap it up in 20-25 minutes and we'll have some Q&A towards the end. So Honeywell Workforce Excellence. When we talk about workforce excellence, we are talking about human reliability improvement. So in industry, in process industry, whenever we talk about reliability, traditionally we talk about process reliability and asset reliability. The most ignored part is human reliability. So Honeywell, as a Honeywell, we are coming up with this workforce excellence portfolio to address that particular need. How do we improve the competency, productivity, and safety of industrial workforce and make them more reliable? I am Manas Datta. I am the general manager of this Honeywell Workforce Excellence portfolio. So when we talk about human reliability, we will try to talk about three different problems that industry is facing. One is, right, during the pandemic, the production of the industry got reduced, and they have also reduced in most of the industry, they have reduced the headcount. But now industries are trying to go back to the pre-pandemic production level, but they may not go back to the pre-pandemic headcount level. So it is more important to do more with less today than earlier. So when we talk about productivity competency, we are not talking about reducing the headcount. We are talking about how industry can do more with what headcount they have today and go back to that pre-pandemic stage. So that is one part of the problem. Second part, if we look at with automation, digital technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, 5G, all those things being adopted in the process industry at a breakneck speed. And industrial workers have found themselves at a crossroad. Either they surrender their jobs because they are not able to cope up with the changes in the technology, or they leverage it to make themselves more valuable, more productive, and relevant. So today's successful industrial enterprises understand this particular challenge, and they are trying to empower their workforce to succeed in this future that looks prominently more digital. That's the second part. And third part is attracting the new talents. The industry work practices are still pretty old. In process industry specifically, if you look at, it's mainly a pen and paper-based work. To do a work, they have to go through 100-page documents, and then they go to the field to execute the work. But the new generation, the digitally native generation who are born after 1995, they don't want to do work in this way. They are more of a YouTube, Google generation. They want to get the bite-size modular learning on the go whenever they need it. And so that's another part, that's the third part of the challenge this industry is facing. How can they attract the new talents who will be happy to work in a process industry? So the Honeywell Workforce Excellence is a framework. We are not talking about any product. So there will be multiple products which will augment to this 6-stage process. If you see here, I will walk you through this 6-stage one by one. First is skill gap assessment. If we can't measure where we are, it is difficult to improve, right? First, we should know where our current workforce are today, and then where we want to go, what's the gap, and then come up with a plan. So as a Honeywell, we have a data analytics AI ML-driven product. We call it as an Hello Operator Advisor, highly augmented look-ahead operation. That's the Hello Operator Advisor. It collects data from the plant. You have control system, you have historian, many things. It collects data from the plant, then run analytics on top of it, and shows how the operators are handling different situations. If there is an upset condition, some operators may be handling it in a better way compared to the other operators. So it tries to find the golden benchmark, who is doing best, and where the other folks are, and then feed that information to the training department where they need training. So that's the step one. Then step 2 is about development plan. So once we know where are they today, then we talk about coming up with an individualized development plan. It's not one size fits all. So traditionally in industry, we have seen everybody goes through an awareness program, then everybody goes through some advanced program, and so on and so forth. But everybody may not need the same kind of a training. So somebody may be already at a particular level, they need the advanced training, not the awareness training. So coming up with that individualized plan is what we do as in Honeywell as part of the consultative work, sitting with the customer and provide that to the customer that this is how we will be developing the competency of your workers. Then the next part is training delivery, and this is where we are seeing major shifts happening in the industry. As I said earlier, people used to attend training in a classroom. They used to sit, listen to the lecturers for days or weeks, and try to learn about things. What we are saying is, if that attract the new digitally native people and allow them to learn in a safe virtual way, we have a blended training approach. We do understand there will be a need of classroom training. 100% of the training cannot be covered through a virtual simulation, but majority of the training can be done through a virtual simulation that we have called immersive field simulator. It's a virtual reality-based training. We create the digital replica of the plant and allow people to try things. Now, they cannot do the trial and error in a running plant, because if they make any mistake, there could be an accident. So now with the virtual digital twin of their plant, they can practice different situations and learn how to handle things and become competent faster. So that's the third step, that training and certification. Now, most of the companies, when they talk about competency, they stop there. They identified the needs, training needs, they have come up with the plan, they have delivered the training, that's all. But we at Honeywell, we understand that training is an important part, but that's not all. Once the training is done and they are back to the job, they would need assistance. And that's where we have the next step, which is called as a predictive insight. So I will skip this, I already talked about this. Now, predictive insight, in Honeywell, we have many different software products which analyze the data of equipment, compressor, pumps, and so on and so forth, and can predict if there will be any problem. So take that information, and to fix that before it fails, identify that modular training need so that the person can practice only that particular part. Let's say a pump seal is going to fail, so how to fix it? They learn that in the virtual reality environment, quickly understand how to do it, they go to the field and fix it. So use the predictive power of different softwares, bring it to the workforce excellence portfolio, and help people to learn that modular things before they go and execute the work. Now, fifth step is continuous assistance. So now when they are in the field, so they have learned, they have gone through the training. Now, once the training is over, there is a problem in the field, they go and try to fix the problem. Now, every scenario cannot be covered in a training, right? There may be some situation that happens in a plant which was not covered in a training. So how to help them? So that's where the digital transformation comes into picture. With mobility solutions, 5G connected solutions, we help the workforce to be more situational aware. They should understand what is going on with the equipment, and if they need assistance from a remote expert, they should be able to establish communication with either their own in-house experts or maybe an OEM provider and fix the things faster. So that's another transformation happening, and we are trying to help our customers to address that when they are in the field. We are not just leaving them alone when they're in the field. And the last stage is about operational analysis. So all the interventions that we talked about, once it is done, how do we measure that people who have gone through this program, they have really improved? So we, as a Honeywell, have an outcome-based program. At the beginning, we try to sit with the customer and identify what are their KPIs with respect to workforce competency and productivity improvement. And then keep measuring through, again, data analytics software solutions to see whether they have really improved after all these interventions. So show them that the KPI, the outcome is achieved, and also identify the next level of improvement, because it's a continuous cycle. Once a person has gone from A to B, that's not the end. Next, the person should go to B to C and C to D. So it's a continuous cycle that we do. So in a nutshell, what we are trying to do is, how can we empower the workforce to do the work right first time, every time, and make every worker the best worker. That is what we are trying to do through Honeywell Workforce Excellence portfolio. We are talking about it's a human reliability solution. And if you look at the statistics, 40 to 70% of the process incidents that happens are because of human error. So if we can improve the human reliability, that percentage will go down, and it will eventually have impact on the bottom line and the top line of the industries, which is not small. So in a typical 150,000 barrel kind of a refinery, in a year it could be $10 million to $15 million of impact that we have measured, and that's what we are trying to tell customers, that human reliability is not something you should ignore. It's happening every day in a small way. We call it cut, death by 1,000 cuts. So small event happens and they ignore it, but if we accumulate it over 1 year, you will see a substantial improvement in the customers' production, quality, and output. So that's the workforce excellence part. I would